All right, I was gonna wait till tomorrow because I know I have one more interview. It's actually the first job I actually applied for when I started making these videos, exposing the fact that they are sabotaging my sources of income and financial situations. And the title of this video, I don't know how I'm gonna title it, but you got to really think about it. I'll say if you're a TI or a target individual or being gang stalked, they call gang stalking on internet terms, even though it's the feds at the end of the day putting you on these BS FISA lists. But I always said this isn't cheap. I was studying cybersecurity to try to get my certifications, which watch my other videos explaining how they've been sabotaging that, which is actually kind of crazy because if you don't know what's going on, people there's people that actually apparently years ago there was like a lawyer that was being gang stalked and he didn't know what was going on. Back then technology wasn't as prevalent and it would probably have been even more harder to get away with this type of targeted program because technology wasn't as advanced back in like 2011-ish or 2012 with a lawyer. I might bring it up on here, but it's on Twitter. Y'all know I'm talking about the lawyer made like a whole hour video saying he was being targeted, spying on like he'll target individual. They say gang stalking, but targeting individual that like that always happens. I guess you could say. Of course, it was a black man too, a black lawyer that actually went to college, had a successful degree and stuff like that, which you gotta put two and two together. Like, how's a person that actually went to school that's actually smart? That's how I know they be trying to target like either high IQ people and stuff like that with this program. But I can't really say that because people actually DM me more videos of Nicki Minaj technically being gang stalker. She's like one of the most successful people. But like I said, you gotta be more like tech savvy because I'm pretty sure she could have the money and find out to get it solved. Even though I know people is probably against her now because she's signing with Trump and stuff like that, but they target Trump with this same type of program too, which is kind of crazy that now he's for it, which again is even more. And unless you know who's really behind all this type of stuff at the end of the day. Like I said, me personally, I'm not really left or right when it comes to politics. I'm more common sense at the end of the day, common sense and more independent, I guess you could say. I just go off common sense and know what's stupid, what's not stupid, and what makes sense and don't make sense. But yeah, the whole gist of this video is that they spending like millions of dollars just off my situation known alone just to stop me from making at least 40K a year. I'm gonna break that down because I said I had a part-time job on top of the full-time job because I was trying to save up to move, but they've been sabotaging my sources of income, which is actually kind of funny. So I took the time off to just focus on working one job so I can start building up. But every time I do that, the undercover agent at the my current workplace, they have keys in my car. They sabotage my car to make to the point that I keep going taking it to the shop. Now I brought that up. I watch other people videos of them saying the exact same thing. The thing is, I know there's an undercover cop and they're hiding behind InfoGuard and they flood your whole workplace with frauds. So that should let you know, like police can't do that. Let me find out the police are actually behind all this, but everything I explained it falls under FBI tactics. Hell, and there's more proof of actually exposing that. But InfoGuard is a prime example, and a lot of these street acting BS. So some corrupted BS is definitely going on, and I do think your government do have ties to all this. But that's why I always said that's how you probably gonna most likely know that you're dealing with probably Freemason police. They say secret police. Let's look this up real quick. Then I'm gonna break down my job situation. I think I retweeted it. I retweeted it for credible people that's actually more qualified that knows about this type of programming, targeting programming stuff. Actually admits it. Can I click it? Yeah, get a warrant that is foreign intelligence surveillance court that exists by name only. And I said personally, I do believe it's a secret. There's like secret courts BS. I said it. I can't say that word because they be censoring a lot of these words, which I think is a more of an indicator of who's really behind this. But I think it's more Freemasons than anything. On course, all these little these fraternity groups. But I also said Scientology. Now, people been telling me about this also. There's videos that actually talk about it. Scientology, where that crap call it. Y'all look it up. Y'all want me to do a video breaking this crap down. It makes sense. Cause I heard there is like a secret police for Scientology and shit like that. I'm not trying to be disrespectful in this video about this, but secret court, secret judges, secret police. Again, people's talking about that. They're saying Scientology. Am I saying that right? Which is actually kind of crazy at the end of the day. So these secret courts, because it mess with people that's not involved in these secret courts, just to target regular, everyday citizens and shit like that. That's another story for another day. But this video is pretty much talking about them spending millions of dollars, most likely our tax dollars, via gift cards, because they are using gift cards, and they probably giving them Fed phones that has like a certain amount of money on it to, again, go to the store, put the phone on the ringer. I said ringer, the cashier thingy, so it's not traceable. That's how you know the feds are giving them these Fed phones and stuff like that. But another video for another day, because this is my situation. They actually spending millions of dollars just to sabotage my sources of income of making down there at least 40K a year at least. It's really like 35K a year, but I'm saying 40K a year to be more exaggerated, because I am trying to look for a part-time job on the side. On my full-time job, so I can actually start saving up and paying down some of this unnecessary debt they put me in. I might make that a whole nother video of me exposing the fact that they've been sabotaging my car and all the other tactics they've been doing to cause me to be in more debt for some apparent reason, which I don't know why. And I could clearly expose the informants they're funding off our tax dollars. But another video for another day. My situation. Look for a second job. So I applied for like 3 jobs. I applied for more jobs, but I had interviews for like 3 jobs so far. So I'm gonna bring up this bar. Now, personally, I said in the last video that I'm really on the fence on doing bar backing because of the money tip out. They steal your money too at the end of the day. And what I got right here is actually proof of them actually trying to steal your money, because I tweeted this also that I think I deleted that I moved out of the county in 2019. But they keep building me for some apparent reason on a card that I got rid of and gave up my rights to in 2022, 2023. But I keep getting billed from when I was living in the county for some reason, which I paid all my taxes before I moved out. Like, it's not making no sense right now. This is how you know your government do be targeting Americans, and they come with clever ways to steal Americans' money behind your back. Another video for another day. But I applied for a barback position. Again, I said I'm on the fence of doing it, taking this position. Look at the date. Posted 24 days ago. 24 days ago. I don't want to break up my emails, but 24 days ago. So May 25th, 2025. Again, I got another interview cooking up. So it's in Baldwin, Missouri. It's really in South County. It's like a 25-30 minute drive for me where I stay at, and it kind of fits my schedule of what I'm looking for. It's actually crazy because all these jobs I'm applying for, I am well more qualified and fit to work. It's just actually kind of crazy because it's restaurant jobs they trying to block me from working at, which I think is more proof that that's how they're using InfoGuard, and they're using these fake Stingray Tower devices and stuff like that. Either that or they give them like weeks to train up their frauds at the job and claim they've been there for years. This is how you know I think this program happens more often than not at the end of the day, which is actually kind of crazy. All right, the barback position. I applied back in the job. Look, the job started back. The job been open up since last month, May 2025. I'll show y'all. May 2025. May 25th, 2026. I applied for the position Monday, June 8th. Know that the position was still available. And I got an email. It said, yes, it is. Blah, blah, blah. Give me your number. Blah, blah, blah. Email. I sent all the information. June 8th. I got a phone call, I think 2 days ago, as I'm making this video. All right. And I got a phone call. He told me they interviewing 2 other employees. Now, take a guess how they're using InfoGuard. And noted, what I realized when I was working on another job, that they're putting people that's in these programs that's definitely, I'm not trying to be disrespectful, because they're not really fit to work that type of position. So I'm kind of curious of what type of program this is. Because a lot of these folks be smoking like, now they say, I'm not talking about cigarettes, but they say e-cigarettes are even worse for the person's body and stuff like that. That's articles. He's smoking like electric BS. But they have these people occupying these positions that they're not fit to work. And that's happening at my current job too, which is got me kind of curious of what type of program this is and stuff like that. Like they're not physically fit to work them type of positions. If they're not using that, they're using like immigrants at the end of the day too to cover it up. Because again, it's FISA, and I said it before. There's self hatred in immigrants apparently because some of my immigrant homeboys be telling me yes, it's happening to people they know also. California is like a prime example, but another video for another day. So it's more, I guess, they're targeting everybody at the end of the day. So it is targeting individuals. But yeah, so I applied for the position back in June, like 5 days ago. The position, I even asked, is the position still available? Yes, sales response, contact number, email. You go over the bar back opening, thank you. And I sent it. Then I got a phone call, like, I think a day or two later. They told me they're interviewing 2 people. Noted, this position been open up since last month. Again, take a guess how they, first off, they have access to my information in my phone, which is already illegal without warrants. Second off, take a guess how they're abusing InfoGuard. At the end of the day, so that's proof. That's more proof of them trying to deny me for finding a part-time job. But I even admitted that I kind of don't want to do the bar back position, even though this position does fit my schedule of my current workplace because I work because the schedule is it fits my schedule because I also have off days on Sundays and stuff like that, or rotated Sundays, which I prefer to rotate Sundays because I could. Come on, I don't need to break all this stuff down again. But I do have one more interview tomorrow that I actually forgot about. It's actually the first job I applied at that's actually closer. That's actually way closer. And it is a dishwasher position instead of barback position. See, I'm being more specific now to make your face look bad, even worse, because these are restaurant positions that usually have high turnover rates. On top of it's a lot of people have part-time jobs, which further prove that this is a targeted individual program. So I'm starting naming out these positions that I'm applying for. I already said before, I'm way more qualified than the folks they planted at my current workplace, or when I was applying for like warehouse positions. But they won't plant folks that are physically fit or they can't train fast enough. Because I already knew they was crashing forklifts at this current workplace, but I'm not gonna talk about that. Like they doing hella OSHA violations. They're trying to cover it up. And I also said that the whole second shift BS is kind of made up, and I can prove that. But I think this shit's gonna end more sooner than later once I actually get through the threshold. I guess you can say most likely when I go to the 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. shift. Cause I feel like once I go through that, switch over to that shift, a lot of them folks gonna disappear. Cause again, this is a program, and I'm not trying to get the current job involved when I know where it all started at. But yeah, so I do got one more interview, so I'm not gonna go too much detail of actually exposing it. I just expose all my current situation. The Chesterfield job, I guess they say it's gonna take a couple of days, blah 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 blah. But if I get this job the job that's closer, I think that's most like the reason why they're trying to do this bullshit. Cause I know my information is going to fusion centers, cause the job is actually closer, and I know the barback job also it fits my schedule, and I had no problem driving a little bit farther, especially I do have intentions of moving out the city in the future anyways. On top of them trying to vandalize my damn car. I'm gonna talk about that in another video too, how the tech I'm not doing it because if you know that's an undercover cop, I could break that down on how I know who the undercover cop is and stuff like that. And how there's a bunch of frauds. It does tie in with the Freemasonry, apparently, or your secret police. Like I said, this stuff is gonna get exposed. There's more and more people that tell me, oh, this is real, blah blah blah, XYZ. They better sticking to targeting these atheists and not target people that actually believe in Jesus Christ, a follower of Christ. And I don't even consider myself a Christian man. At the end of the day, I do believe that's a heaven and hell, and I do believe in Jesus Christ. So they better stick to stalking these folks, since I kind of know this is like some devil worshiping atheist bullshit. But I don't know. So I'm not gonna go too much detail. Like I said, it's gonna be a 15-minute video update of them actually spending millions of dollars they'll flood your whole area just to deny you to making pretty much low to income requirement pay. And it's kind of ridiculous. Like I said, I'm gonna hold off. I'm gonna hold off. I was gonna go in, but like I said, I got one more interview, and I did apply to a couple more jobs. So I'll probably say that for the next part of all the jobs I applied for that are way more qualified. So pretty much what they're doing is I apply for a job. I'll either go to the interview. They say they got other employees. They interviewed two more employees. That's their tactic of them trying to. Well, clearly your FBI agent going to the job behind my back. That's why you know it's important that they need to start subpoena. I can't say the word of you actually trying to get this to a courthouse, either a courthouse or keep making it public to put more attention to the jobs that I apply for. And this is really for private investigators that actually have a life that could just go to XYZ and see if I pretty much know I'm right. So private investigator, private attorney information. That's what means I'm doing these type of videos. I'm not gonna say the names. I will say the names in quote unquote, probably in a Discord or some shit like that. X, Y, and Z. Because a lot of times out of 10, a lot of these folks do disappear at a lot of these workplaces. Westport Social is like the prime example, but they're gonna say they changing management. Like I said, you're gonna hear that word a lot. So a lot of shit I'm exposing is pretty much gonna take your damn economy if it start gaining more traction of the BS that's actually going on. And I do believe it happens more often than I expected, especially you know what Cortel Pro is.
They'll call you to the meeting room, show you a chart how they made $755 billion that month. Congratulate all of y'all.
This is a whole nother video for another day. But like I said, the video title of this video is they're spending millions of dollars just to stop you from making minimum wage, pretty much.